I'm Hillary Lockwood, owner of Hilltop Yoga. We have 2 locations, one in Old Town Lansing, Michigan, the other in Lakeview, Chicago, Illinois. Our main purpose at Hilltop is to make sure 2 things. To make sure that the integrity of the practice, the tradition of the practice is held. I've been in practice myself 27 years. My teacher is Mahdi Azrati. And I'm deeply connected to that lineage and what I was taught and the way that I was taught. Our lineage here is very clean, and that means very much to me. The tradition of the practice, holding that space, means that, this comes to my second point, that we make sure that people understand that yoga is accessible to everyone, that everyone can do yoga, no matter the size, age, gender, race, ailments, that yoga is accessible to you no matter what. And it really is finding that class, that place, that teacher that fits. Our first point of teaching is to keep the student safe. And people come to yoga for all kinds of reasons, and often there's trauma. And so in the mix of that, keeping the student safe physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually becomes very, very important, most important. I've been training teachers now for 14 years, 4 trainings a year, and that is what they learn is the first and most important piece. So we have 76 classes a week in Old Town, and we have 26 on the schedule in Chicago. It is honoring that there are so many aspects to this practice, that the union of our yoga is body, mind, and spirit, and that there are 8 limbs, not just one. Asana, this physical movement of the practice, the piece that we all love so much, and we do, it's only one piece of a very big practice. And there's a lot of yoga now that's being taught with loud music and bouncing around, and this pulls out the deepest pieces of the spirituality of the practice. And spirituality is however you define it individually. It's how you welcome the idea of your own faith, or how you define what spirituality and oneness means. To pull that piece out, there is no yoga. The other 7 limbs are based on how we behave to each other in the world and how we behave to ourselves. It's posture, not even meaning asana, meaning how we walk in the world, the expression of our soul, how this house carries us around, and the level and depth of our breath. Are we breathing? Are we paying attention? Are we honoring the quality of the moment? And that removing from the external, allowing the garbage, the bullshit that we all deal with, the duality, the expectations, the judgments, the worries, the overwhelm, the stress, the anxiety, allowing these to fall away and to come into a space that's internal, which allows the practice to bring us in a place of single focus, to bring us to a place of intention, and allows us to see self. And that means not only the beauty in self, the extreme power that we all carry, that's the power in power yoga, but it's also to see the patterns which don't serve us. The practice removes the cloud, it removes the veil, and it allows us to see our beauty as well as our ugliness, and to look at those patterns and say, oh, here's something that I really need to put effort and energy into fixing, changing, getting rid of altogether, letting go of. The practice from that space of single focus opens us up into the idea of meditation, moving or still, to be in that space of calm, and then samadhi, this idea of peace, this idea of I'm okay, and I'm in the essence of my own power. And in that space of power, I'm going to be in the world because I'm here, and I have to be. The power of yoga is your inner power. That's power yoga. Not faster, harder, hotter. The temperature of the room does not matter. The pace with which you move does not matter. What does matter is whether it's connected to you in the deepest ways. I lived with cancer for 14 years. I was given 6 months twice. Without this practice, I would not be here. I want everyone to be able to walk through our doors and know that regardless of what label's been stamped on them, whether it's sick or well, happy, sad, whatever, that there is a home for them, that there is a place where they can come and feel taken care of and move some of this garbage through them. Because when even the littlest bits release, we feel better. The practice is thousands and thousands of years old because that's its job. Because its job is to make us see inside and to clean house so that when we leave this world, we're clear. There's no regret. There's no deep attachments that are damaging. That we're clearer than we were. And that may mean one day releasing one addiction. It may mean one day releasing an idea of a bad relationship. It may be as simple as letting go of coffee for a minute. The practice allows us space into self, but we have to be willing to do that. Brian Kest, one of my sweetest friends ever, always says, the practice will be easy when life is easy. There you have it. So at Hilltop Yoga, there are classes of all levels, from the most beginning to the most advanced. The idea of challenge is up to you. Sometimes we need that physical challenge. We need the physical body to be exhausted and stripped away to get it out of the mix. We have to remember that the house is part of who we are, that it's part of our practice. It has to be, right? It carries us around. It needs to be fit enough to allow us to sit in self and feel safe and strong and stable. But you also need to be able to have those days where you can come into yin, to come into restorative, to come into slow flow, to come into basics, and to reconnect with the fundamentals of the practice, and to know that, yes, alignment is important. We are an alignment-based vinyasa studio. That does exist. I know lots of people say it doesn't. It does. And it's the way that I was taught. At Yoga Works 2.5 decades ago, alignment was focused on. And we learned all the little subtle muscle actions. And as I dug in almost 30 years now in practice as a teacher, that became more and more important, to see the bodies, to really understand that. And when you give that knowledge to the student, they can then take it with them, which is amazing. No matter what room they put themselves in, they know where their bodies need to go to keep themselves safe. Iyengar says when the bones are stacked correctly, then prana can run freely. This life force unique to us can run through every single space. Very important. I have 5 teacher training programs from 2, 3, 500 to prenatal. And I love training teachers. And I feel I really do and have taken so much love and insight from my teacher that I do my best to give you as much as I can give you in the 8-10 weeks that we're together, so that I'm honoring the lineage of my practice, and so that you know all 8 limbs when you walk out in there into the world and become a teacher, that I'm sending the best teachers out into the world as I possibly can to honor the traditions and integrity of this practice. That you know the philosophy, you know the anatomy, you know the alignment, you know how to adjust and get hands on bodies in a safe way, and you know how to determine who to touch and not who to touch. That you have an intuitive sense of what the room needs, and that is where you teach from. We energetically feel each other before we even make a judgment, a true conscious impression. And trusting that piece becomes very important. So again, at Hilltop Yoga, our first priority is safety. Whether you come in as a student and or a teacher, that goes for you as a student as well, and you as a teacher as you're teaching. I take very seriously the practice, and I take very sweetly the gift that it's given me, which is my life. I've had 5 neck dissections year to year, clavicle to clavicle, and I'm still here because of this practice. It has more to give than fancy postures. That's not at all what it's about. So if you love and want to know the depth of the practice, if you want to be in a space where the teachers are trained to give you that knowledge, come to Hilltop. We would love to have you. It's a great community. We love each other. Shanti.